When a K-pop group reaches the military years, the music usually slows to a stop. 17 spent those years putting out more of it than almost anyone. Seventeen debuted on the 26th of May 2015 as 13 members who ran their own group. From the start, they wrote their own songs, built their own choreography, and produced their own music, the kind of work most groups handed to outside teams. Keeping all of it inside the lineup made 17 hard to copy. The early years were quiet. The fanbase grew one step at a time, and so did the group, until the patience turned into something huge. By 2023, their album FML was the best-selling album in the world that year. Stadiums filled. In 2024, UNESCO named them its first Goodwill Ambassador for Youth. 10 years in, 17 was one of the biggest groups on the planet, running on a system they had built themselves. Then, the clock everyone knew about started. In September 2024, Junghan left for his military service, the first of the 13 to go. The 26th of May 2025 marked 10 years to the day since debut. 17 celebrated it with their fifth full album, Happy Birthday, a name that mashed Happy Birthday together with Burst. The group called it a rebirth. The album ran 16 songs. 13 of them were solo tracks, one for every member, something the group had never done in 10 years. Junghan and Wonwoo had already enlisted, so they recorded their parts early to make sure all 13 of them were on it. It was a quiet move with a real effect. Every member came out of the anniversary with a song that was his alone, right as the group started losing people to service. The service came in waves. Junghan first, in September 2024. Wonwoo in April 2025. Woozi and Hoshi a day apart that September after putting out their own unit album, Beam, in the spring. 4 members would not serve at all. S-Coups, exempt after knee surgery. And Joshua, June, and The 8, who hold foreign citizenship. A 13-member group usually winds down when its members start leaving one by one. 17 built the opposite. Solo tracks ready to go, pairings already moving, and a plan to keep releasing straight through the gap. After the anniversary album, the new pairings started coming, almost on a schedule. 17 had always split into smaller teams. 3 official units since debut: vocal, hip-hop, and performance. Over the years, that grew into smaller pairings too, 2 or 3 members teaming up for a side project. The idea went back to BSS, the trio of DK, Seungkwan, and Hoshi, who started as a joke at a 2018 fan meeting and turned into one of the group's most loved units, behind viral hits like CBZ Primetime. By the time the military years came, 17 already knew exactly how to put a unit out. On the 29th of September 2025, the same month Woozi and Hoshi left, S-Coups and Mingyu launched their unit, CXM, with the mini-album Hype Vibes. Both come from the hip-hop team, and they leaned into a loose, relaxed sound, even filming part of it in Los Angeles. They carried it into a live party tour that January. On the 12th of January 2026, DK and Seungkwan opened their own unit, DXS, with the mini-albums Serenade and the single Blue. Both are main vocalists, and the album moved from rock to softer ballads to R&B. After years of cracking jokes together in BSS, this was the pair showing the quieter, more serious side of their voices. The newest one is V8. On the 29th of June 2026, Vernon and The8 debut as a duo, the name built from Vernon's V and The8's 8. Vernon co-wrote and composed the lead track, Sing-a-Song. A summer concert run follows in July, Goyang first, then Hong Kong. It is the sixth subunit 17 has put out. Line them up and the pattern is hard to miss. Hype vibes in the fall, Serenade in winter, V8 in the summer. While the members rotated out to serve, one after another, a new 17 release landed every few months. Different pairings, different sounds, the same name on all of it. For Carrots, the gap never felt empty. There was always something new to play, always another unit stepping up while others were away. The group had turned its own structure into a way to never go quiet. The units were not the only thing keeping 17 around. While the pairings released music, the group kept moving as a whole. Their New World Tour ran from late 2025 into early 2026, performed by the 9 members who were available. Even short of its full lineup, the tour landed at number 7 on Billboard's 2026 Mid-Year Top Tours chart, the highest-placed K-pop act on it. The members kept showing up in other ways too, putting out solo work of their own through the gap. Dino saved the strangest one for himself. It started back in the group's fan meeting skits, where he played a joke character named Peachalin, a loud, over-the-top middle-aged producer. He refused to let it go, bringing the character back year after year. Nobody expected it to lead anywhere. Now that same character is getting a real solo debut, a full mini-album landing in August 2026. Going 17, the group's long-running variety show, kept going through all of it, running a full season in 2025 before wrapping in December. Now it is coming back for another. The weekly comfort watch a lot of Carrots have followed for years, still there even with members away. Then, in April 2026, came the clearest sign that the group was staying together. All 13 members renewed their contracts with Pledis, with S.Coups announcing it at a concert. A full lineup locked in, most of the military years still ahead of them. The work reached past music too. The UNESCO role they took on in 2024 came with $1 million of their own behind youth projects in more than 60 countries, and that part did not stop for the military. In the same week of June 2026 that Jonghan came home from his service, Joshua was in Paris, giving a speech at the UNESCO headquarters on supporting young people. One member finishing the army, another on a stage across the world, both under the same name during what was supposed to be a quiet stretch. The members started coming back. Jonghan, the first to leave, became the first to return, discharged in June 2026. Wonwoo follows in early 2027. Woozi and Hoshi come back that spring. At the same time, the next group prepares to go. Mingyu, DK, Seungkwan, Vernon, and Dino are all expected to enlist in the second half of 2026. The waves keep moving in both directions. In June 2026, 17 held their 10th Carrot Land fan meeting at a stadium in Incheon. With 4 members already serving, 9 took the stage. It was one of the last times this many of them would gather before the next round of service, and the goodbye sat under all the games and performances. One segment turned into a reverse stage, the members performing each other's solo songs. Mingyu noted that even with only 9 of them there, they could fill the whole thing with each other's solo work, a sign of how much each member had grown on his own. Near the end, the members spoke about what was coming. Mingyu told the crowd that the real second chapter would begin once everyone was back, 2 to 3 years out, returning grown and changed. S. Coops talked about how his reasons for doing this had shifted over the years, away from competition and toward performing with his members and giving back to the fans who stayed. The full 13 are expected back together around 2028. Until then, the group moves in pieces, each member leaving and returning on his own schedule, all of them walking toward the same point. For most groups, the military years are something to survive, a gap to get through, a stretch where the music stops and the fans wait. 17 spent those same years building. It traces back to how they started. A group that writes, produces, and runs itself does not fall silent when a few members step away. The work shifts to whoever is there. The units kept releasing, the tour kept running, the content kept coming. 17 was built so that a few members serving never meant the music had to stop. That is why the break never looked like a break. New music every few months. A record-setting tour with a partial lineup. 13 members signed on for whatever comes next, most of them still waiting their turn to leave and return. The second chapter has not started yet, but 17 is making sure the wait never goes quiet.